Warning, the following may contain rust monsters. Join fantasy authors Phil Tucker, Timandra Whitecastle, David Benem, Benedict Patrick, and Josiah Bancroft as they roll dice and take on the bad guys in a game of Dungeons and Dragons. 5 authors, 5 worlds, 1 adventure. It's time to get crit-faced. Previously on Crit-Faced. Racing against the setting sun, our heroes rush back to the coffinmaker's home to set fire to the 3 vampires resting within.
Ooh.
Burn it. This always goes well for us.
I still feel pretty good about this plan. We set it on fire, and if they run out, well, I will.
But how about we just, we will destroy evil, we'll go sneakily into this building with I can't remember where Jean found or saw the coffins, but go into that room, pour the oil all over them, and then just incinerate them.
DM, question. Can they leap from this building easily to another, or is it sort of isolated and standing by itself?
So I think we had said that the building is standing by itself, but I mean, it's in the middle of a town. So based on what you saw from Doru, it wouldn't be a massive leap for you guys to assume that they might be able to make it from building to building, even though they're not attached.
We do have to consider, if we set vampires on fire and then they jump from rooftop to rooftop, we could set the entire town on fire.
Didn't most medieval towns suffer complete burn downs every 10 years or something because of this?
That's true. And they grow back stronger.
Because of setting vampires on fire?
Yes, that's why they had the Inquisition and stuff.
Yes,
they're used to this happening. They rebuild.
They're looking forward to it, actually.
Yes, any second now, Father Lucian will come back with that message. Yeah.
It would be nice to have at least one town that we can return to when this is all over. Perhaps we...
Especially because we've put so much effort into protecting this one now.
Yes. All right, so fire is still on the table, but let's just spitball a moment. What else do we have?
We know that they are resting right now? I can't remember... So, did Doru sleep during the day?
You've not seen these vampires. You've only been told about them by Vandervoort.
Yeah.
If there's something else we could do, could we drop the house on them? Is that an option? Could we bury the coffins? Could we put rocks on the coffin lids and they couldn't get out?
Were they in coffins or were they sleeping just on the beds and stuff?
You actually haven't seen them, so you just know that they're in that room. If you remember, Jean went to the top of the stairs and he turned to his right, but the room to the left is apparently the room that the vampires are in. But you've not been in there. You've not actually seen any evidence of them.
Am I still invisible?
No, that's worn off.
Okay.
But I believe you had ideas of using another invisibility spell during this task.
We need someone who has a functioning memory.
Not in this group. The Lord Talfrin smooths down his lamb chops and looks gravely at his companions and says, well, I don't think it's responsible to set the entire building on fire. I know it's shocking coming from me. But I think we should go inside, attempt to slather the vampires in grease, and then I can unload some hellfire upon them. And then when they burst forth, upset, perhaps rightly so, the rest of you engage in your specializations and ensure that they don't escape.
I'll lead the way.
Because how about if they're resting, and I know that morally this is not a very nice thing to do because you should be, honorable and stuff. But in this case, I'd say, if they are asleep, we just kill them in their sleep and then set them on fire, just to make totally sure that they will not
But the
Right?
fire is what will kill them.
What about what do we take off their heads?
Yeah.
Does that kill them?
Wouldn't that? Because we didn't really incinerate Doru and still managed to kill him.
But
I think if you cut off the head, there's a fine chance that will be it. And on the worst case scenario, we then have 3 severed heads living and rolling around on the floor trying to bite us. But that's the worst case.
I worry time is ticking here, and
Time is indeed ticking.
It'll soon be sunset. I think we need to go up there and just
Do our thing.
Just see what state they're in, and then that would dictate how we take care of them.
Okay, no plan is the best plan. Let's go.
And does 5th edition have like a coup de grace sort of mechanism?
I believe there's optional rules for that, but we're not really.
Because you can't actually just chop someone's head off in D&D. Like you have to get rid of all their hit points. So that would sort of count as like just a first blow, but you can't like execute them, which is a little unfortunate.
I think it depends on like what. So, for example, if you saw somebody asleep in a bed and you wanted to go over and attack them, I think it's fairly reasonable to assume that you would kill them if you were trying to kill them. Does that make sense? So we'll sort of.
Oh, so that is like a coup de grace thing.
Yeah, it depends on the situation and exactly who it is you're trying to dispatch.
Right.
Well, then
I don't think we have to wake them up for a fair fight. I think we can all agree on that.
I agree.
Exactly.
So worst case scenario, we take a whack or two, they wake up, they're very angry, but we have at least the advantage.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So who's leading? McRag. McRag's leading the way.
So are we
New dice.
Are we heading back to the coffin maker's shop?
Yes. I think we're there, aren't we?
Well,
I thought we stood in front of.
That's fine. That's fine. So, if you recall, the front door leads into the workshop. The back door, which is where Jean had, or I think Jean made his way in through the window, wasn't it originally? But there is a back door as well into what seems to be some kind of coffin storage room that Jean entered in through. So,
as I recall, there was quite a bit of dry wood, coffin making parts. What if we soak those in oil before heading upstairs?
That's an insurance policy.
Ready to go.
Right. So the Bernie is back on the table. Like we may set a fire?
I think
there's always that possibility.
Oh, okay, just checking. All right, so
remember that they only are wounded by magic weapons?
And fire.
Right. So if we're going to hurt them, we have to either use magic weapons or fire.
Well, remember.
I'm a magician.
Magic loops.
I can. Well, sir, it's a concertina.
I think we have previously established that the normal weapons can hurt them as well, but you certainly found that fire, or you certainly found that magical weapons or magic was more effective.
All right, I say we just run in there and do this.
Yeah.
We're deliberating too long. We're losing our nerve. Let's just do it.
Or we could go to the Wizards of Winery.
Oh my God!
We will not leave this town infested with 3 vampires.
Okay.
All right. Let's head up.
McCrag, you have been designated the leader of this expedition. Where are you leading everyone in?
I guess the door entering into the workshop.
Okay, so we're going into the front door. If you can remember, the workbenches here to your left where Van der Voort sheltered under when some mysterious invisible figure was speaking to him earlier in the day. Are you guys all following McCrag in?
Yes.
Can I ask everyone to take a stealth check for me, please?
No.
18.
Wow. 11. Do we have advantage because they're asleep?
5.
I'm not telling you what's happening. I just want to know what you rolled. So, Master Sonna, you rolled 5. What happened to you?
I tripped and fell.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Into a pile
I
of
haven't
coffin.
been meditating enough.
Lord Telford?
11?
Okay, McCrag. So you realise that Master Sonna in particular makes quite a bit of noise behind you. So you sort of pause for a moment, but there doesn't seem to be any disturbances that you can hear upstairs. You happy to keep going?
Yes. And I think we need to again just if there's loose pieces of wood just gather a few of those.
Okay. Well, no, actually, the next room that you walk into, this is when you're talking about needing loose pieces of wood. The next room that you walk into has actually more than a dozen empty. So it looks like they're sort of empty, just recently made coffins lying in them. This is the storage room. 13,
No.
in fact.
No coffin parts.
No, they're all coffins. There are wee bits of wood, obviously, in the main workshop that you just moved through, but it's the...
Are the lids on latches or are they loose?
They're loose. They're to be nailed down.
But they're not nailed down yet.
They're not nailed down yet. Yeah, you could gather a few pieces of wood from the main workshop if you wanted. Some smaller pieces. Some kindling, is that what you're after?
Yeah, I'll get those, and I have some oil. I'll soak a fair amount of oil on the wood.
Okay. Are we heading upstairs then? Because
Yes.
there is again, Jean has already seen this, but there's a narrow staircase upwards from the coffin storage room. Guys, it's quite dark here, and as we said, it's close to sunset, so we're starting to find it difficult to see because there's no windows at the top of the stairs. Are we doing anything for a source of light?
I can throw the occasional firebolt.
No, don't you have an illumination spell?
But then they'll know we're coming if they're awake.
We lost Sean.
Like,
I think he ran away.
Sounds probable. I light a candle. I pull a candle from my pocket.
Okay. So we're going to have to walk single file up the stairs here. I'm assuming McCragg's in front, but what's the marching order for everyone else?
Lord Talfin
McCragg.
will follow Master Senna. Sean brings up the rear.
Fair enough. McCragg at the top of the stairs, as described, this is not unexpected to you. Jean described there's two doors here. There's one to the right, which is slightly ajar. That's the door that Jean went through to get the bones. The door to the left is the door that Vandervoort said contains the room with the vampires.
Is there a knob? How is the door?
Yeah, absolutely.
Great.
Seems to be a doorknob.
Does it look really rusty and squeaky?
Doesn't seem to be anything out of the order. I mean, it's not new, but there doesn't seem to be anything to suggest it's not in working order.
Is there any sort of bolt on the outside of the door?
Nope.
Is there sufficient space underneath the door to kind of get on the ground and look underneath?
Yeah, do you want to take a wee perception check to see?
Sure.
If there's anything?
10.
10. So you don't hear anything. You see sort of wooden planks lining the floor. You can see there is some kind of source of light. You reckon there must be at least one window through the room, just based on the shapes, sort of the light that you can see hitting the floorboards in the room next door. But other than that, you don't get any other information.
Does it smell like decaying flesh?
It does not, no.
Okay. Guys, what do you want to do?
Well, I think we've come here for a purpose.
Lord Tarfon, can you cast your invisibility spell upon McCragg, for example, so you can sneak into the room and check if there's any creepy vampires hanging out, sniggering behind the door?
Yeah, I was hoping to save my higher powered spells for my offensive attacks.
Yes.
Can you use Lord Talfrin? You have that ability to clean up rooms and move stuff. Could you use that to turn a doorknob?
Could I use prestidigitation to turn a doorknob?
I do not recall. Do you have a description of it to see what it says?
Not off the head. It's all for like anything that doesn't require a dice roll or an attack. So
Okay,
small, minor effects.
I'd allow it, but I would be needing whoever's going to be opening this door is going to be taking a stealth check. So if it's Lord Talfin doing it with his prestidigitation, I'll be asking for Lord Talfin to be taking the stealth check.
I have a terrible
I'm pretty
stealth
stealthy now.
Okay.
I'm pretty stealthy now.
I think
If I were invisible, I'd be...
Jean
I'm
comes
back.
back up the stairs.
Yay!
We're still at the top of the stairs trying to deliberate the best way to open this door into the room.
Oh my God! I was gone for 5 minutes and nothing happened. All right. It's good to rejoin my fellow travelers. I rolled a 20 for my stealth check.
Slide under the door.
You'll be happy to hear that you're at the back. We're sort of single file up the staircase. You're at the back of the procession.
That does sound like me. Yes.
Okay.
I'm thinking I'm probably the stealthiest at this point.
Okay.
Crag, open the door.
All right. Should I have a flaming board in hand as I do this? Or should we just try to be quiet for now?
Let's take a peek.
Yeah.
All right. I'll take a peek. These new dice better work. Oh, crap.
No.
10.
10. So
Kicks open the door.
you sort of turn the knob. There's no movement, and I think probably relieved by the fact, there's no sort of sounds that give you away. I'm probably relieved by that. You sort of swing the door open quicker than you meant to, and obviously it's been a long time since the hinges have been oiled, so there's a massive screech on the rusted hinges as the door opens. Imagine sort of pause for a second just to see what kind of effect that has. But there's no movement in the room beyond, so you can actually see, McCragg, that the room in front of you, it sort of runs north to south in the coffin maker's shop, and you're actually entering in like a southernmost section of it. Now you can't, you're just sort of peeking in the doorway at the moment, but right now you can see that there's just seems to be a lot of storage in here. I mean, it's like basically like a loft space. There's mostly loads of planks of wood sort of littering the walls of this space here. There's a few crates inside as well. There's actually a couple of crates right in front of you. And then if you peek through the doorway, you can see a few more right at the north end of the room up here.
So a total of 5?
At the moment, you can see 4 crates. 2 in front of you and 2 at the very northern end of the room. The ones in the northern end of the room are about 40 feet away from you, because it clearly runs the length of the coffin maker's shop.
Are they wooden crates?
Yep. No.
Are they sealed?
From this distance, they certainly look to be sealed, yes.
I have a suggestion. I poke my head around and appear into the room, and then I cast Silent Image, just to give us like a psychological edge in the upcoming fight. I create the image of flames racing up the walls.
Okay. The silent image, does it have any stipulations about the size of the image?
Oh, size? It does. It has to be 15 square foot cube.
Okay, that's fine. So, are we talking about sort of the center of the eastern wall? Is that what you're talking about?
I'm thinking of wreathing the door, because I'd like to prevent them from bolting out. So if we sort of cover the exit with fake flames, that might make them second guess themselves. Okay,
there's no, I assume by the name Silent Image, there's no sort of sound, but no sort of feeling. They won't be able to sense heat from this at all, will they?
It's a little limited. I'm just hoping it throws them off their stride when they wake up.
I, as a musician, I feel I can add a special touch to this. I can cast a minor illusion of the sound of burning wood. You get the crackling and the hissing of the
I thought you were going to do like a flaming thing on your concertina, the evocative of. But the minor illusion might be better.
Well, I can do both.
So at the moment we have McCragg standing in the doorway of this room. The doorway is wreathed in what looks and sounds like flames, but of course gives off no heat. What's next, guys?
Well, this illusion lasts about a minute, so let's
yeah.
Giddy up.
There you go.
All right, I'll take a I'll take a few steps in the room, axe at the ready, and also prepared to ask Jean or Lord Talfrin to light my fire.
Okay. So you take a few steps in, sort of standing right beside those two crates down there in front of you. Nothing happens. Okay. Master Sonny, you're obviously following McCragg up. You can see that he's sort of walked into the sort of middle of the room down there.
Okay.
What's your plan?
Can I take a perception check and see if can we sort of perceive what's in these crates?
Okay. Now, what are you going to? Are you just hoping to look at the crates to perceive what's in them?
Well, like, is there maybe a label, a destination where they
Vampire?
Yeah. You can
do not open?
You can actually clearly, certainly the two that are closest to you, you can actually make out the word junk written on both of them. You can't. You're too far away from the ones at the north end to see.
Well, if it's just junk, then we've come to the wrong place.
Mm.
You're looking for the crates that say vampire.
Yes, let's try another room.
Exactly.
I say we just open a box. We have.
How about I set the boxes on fire?
Oh, God.
The vampires are inside them. They take damage emerging, and when they emerge, they see more fire. They're going to be distressed, and then we hit them with everything we've got.
That's
use
fine.
the boxes against them.
If the house catches on fire, be it on your head. If the town burns to the ground, I will.
We'll blame Lord Talfrin.
Yes. Or we can just open one box and all of us just stab at once. Just a hacky, stab, shooty, and then whatever's in there is going to be a pincushion and we move on to the next one.
If it's junk, why bother putting it in a crate and labeling it as junk?
Exactly.
It's a vampire.
With the self-esteem problem.
Yes.
Maybe it's the vampire's name.
Oh, it's Junke.
Junk. All right, so you want to open up the lid and try not.
I will open it. I will take this hit.
Okay.
Okay.
I was gonna do it, but you.
You would do it so much better. You would do it better and stylishly with panache. Why don't you do
with
it?
my sword at the ready
Okay. So who's
for the mad
opening?
stabbing. I am.
Okay, Master Sonna, which crate are you going to open?
The one that was on top of the other one.
So the one down here, the ones closest to the entranceway.
Yes.
The junk crates.
The junk.
Okay. So would you like to take a stealth check for me, please, Master?
Okay.
That doesn't help.
No, but this is good because I rolled a
Crag.
16 and I have 3 stealth, so that means 19.
Okay.
Solid roll.
Artfully, you lift so there is a lid on the crate, but it doesn't seem to be bonded to it in any way. So you lift it off, and absolutely silently you do so to unveil within a pile of junk. It just seems to be like old tools that maybe have been bent out of shape slightly, or bits of wood that are quite unusual. It's just the kind of rubbish that you might find from a carpentry shop that obviously somebody doesn't really want to throw away, and they've chucked it in a miscellaneous crate up in their loft.
So I turn around and I say, "There's nothing in here."
Excellent.
Shall
All
we
right.
check the other
Yes.
boxes?
Let's do the next one.
Okay.
I think just in the spirit of fairness, we should all take a turn. It's sort of a game of surprises, or who's going to be the lucky one to get a vampire in the face.
Okay. So you taking the last one down here at the south?
Sure, I'll take the next one. I'll take the next one.
I'm assuming then you're all in the room now, because Jean was taking up the rear, so you're all down here at
Yes.
the southern end of the room. Would you like to take a stealth check for me, Jean?
Yes.
The junk crate.
14.
14. Again, not quite as well practiced as Master Sonna.
But not badly.
Not badly. You all unveil your crate of junk as well. It's just rubbish, potentially for a carpenter. There might be something of use in here, but it's just pieces of wood, old tools.
I pick up one of the pieces of junk to make sure it's not an illusion covering a slumbering vampire.
It's not an illusion covering a slumbering vampire. It's a piece of junk.
I feel like we are leaping at our own shadows here. You know, we are cowering in the foyer and opening up crates of junk very timorously. Let's open them all at once.
Where did John go?
Should we just take a quick? Should we just take a quick look at the room that Jean had seen previously? Just peek our heads in there and make sure that the vampires haven't decided to go for afternoon tea.
Yeah, you want to back out?
Wait, but there's 2 more crates of junk, right? Or is that
there's McCragg had seen 2 more crates from the doorway, but now you can actually, as you look north, you can see that the room actually bends around to the west. So there's actually 5 crates up at the northern end of the room, sort of hidden by the L-shaped.
We're about to lose sunlight. I don't think we should leave 5 crates at our back. I think we finish this room, and then we proceed.
It takes 10 seconds just to peek in there.
That's right. We'll do it very, very, very quietly.
Yes.
You have the next one. Kellen, I believe in you.
All right, so Kellen, are you going for the crates or are you going to peek in the room?
I'm going to go peek in the other room, just very as stealthily, but
go for it then.
All
stealth
deliberate
check,
speed. 14.
So you sort of shove your way past the other guys. Jean obviously didn't seem that happy that you were leaving, and you make your way to the right hand room at the top of the stairs. And it's a tiny kitchen. I mean, it's about a quarter of the size of the storage room that you were just in. Jean's described this one to you already. There's a wooden chair here in the middle of it. Some preparation benches for food. There's a door off to the north, which leads to the bedroom that Jean has previously described to you. It doesn't seem to have been used recently, as in the last hour or so. There's no signs.
I'll come back into the junk room.
Okay.
Oh, you're back now, are you? I thought you had run away.
So how about
would you care to have a crate?
I'd love to open a crate.
Take a new crate?
And I'll just do it simultaneously?
Yeah, I think that's a wonderful idea, because my plan is once all the vampires leap out, I will vanish and run.
I should not open a crate.
Well, why should you not open a crate?
I am quite... Well, first of all, it's a little beneath me. Second, I'm terrible at opening crates.
Sir!
I will, without a doubt, fumble the lid and hurl it into the next person. This body was not made for stealth.
Ability. Oh, all right, okay. Master Suna, you will join me in opening a crate on 3.
Yes.
Okay.
So you guys moving up to the northern end of the room?
Yeah.
Yes.
And are you just happy to plod on up there, grab a crate and rip it off the lid?
I feel
stealthily
very
and
confident.
sneakily.
Oh yes.
Right. Would you like to take your
Yes.
your stealth checks then, please? Is Lord Talfrin's not going to open one, but is Kellen, are you going to open a crate up at the top?
Yes, I will open a crate as quietly as possible.
Okay.
12.
14 seems to be my favorite number today.
22.
Wow.
Oh, nice.
So you guys managed to tiptoe across without making too much of a disturbance. A couple of small creaks, but nothing that you think will give the game away. I imagine you're just standing at the 3 nearest crates.
Yes.
Yeah. So we're just going to lift the lids off.
Mm-hmm.
On
Just
the
take a little
count of
picky
3.
pie.
Are they
Little picky pie.
labeled? Are they labeled?
There does not seem to be a label on these ones, no.
Not junk.
Auspicious.
Certainly doesn't say that, no.
It certainly doesn't say that. Uh-oh.
Well, this is a very bad idea.
Retreat to the far side of the room.
So, we're going to open these crates. Okay.
Now we're going to listen for the vampires who are sniggering inside of them.
Do you want to take a wee second?
No,
Yeah.
let's open the crates.
Let's do it.
Let's just
Maybe
open
one
these
of them
crates.
has sleep apnea.
I think they're technically dead, so I don't know if there's much snoring going on.
Okay, so does anyone want to count down?
3. Talfin's at the back. He's giving you the mark. 3.
Oh, yes.
2.
Yes.
1, go.
Okay, Master Sonna, your crate is empty.
Yay!
Kellen,
You get to leave.
your crate is empty.
What?
Jean, your crate has a body in it.
Mm.
But I opened it very, very quietly, then so he didn't stir.
There's
Okay.
a female sort of rolled up in the crate. Very palish skin, tattered dress covering her. In a split second, you realise that she's sleeping in a bed of earth. And after that realisation takes place, she turns to face you, opens her eyes. They're blazing red at you. She snarls and attacks. Please, everybody, roll for initiative.
Crit Faced is a weekly Dungeons & Dragons podcast. To make sure you never miss an episode, and to get an exclusive prequel episode of the podcast where you can find out what our characters were up to before this adventure began, head over to critfacedpodcasts.com and join our Crit Faced fan group.